Andy, Thursday night football. What a product. Oh my God. Amazon has just really, they have bought into just one hell of a product here. In seriousness, this is sort of the quintessential Thursday night football is low quality. It puts guys at risk. And they paid $1.3 billion a year for this for the next 10 years over at Amazon. I think that money might have just been better spent if Bezos decided he just wanted to, buy an NFL franchise or something like that. If he wanted some skin in the game here.
I got a notification that my Prime membership went down this year. They actually lowered the price. My God, it is fun.
They're paying you.
And in today's society, bullying is very much looked down upon. That's been a big thing in the schools. We're getting rid of bullying. It's nice that it's back. At least everybody, the entire Twitter feed is just bullying this game.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's like, gambling Twitter is such a toxic place, and there's so much infighting and people subtweeting and getting mad at each other. It's nice that everybody can come together and just shit on this game together.
Oh yeah.
There was a 3rd and 38. There's been a million holds. There's been fumbles, turnovers, terrible penalties.
Let's
Ryan
say
throwing right to a guy.
Yo, let's pretend for a second that when the Broncos were knocking, they scored a touchdown. When the Colts were driving, instead of the interception, they scored another field goal. If this was like a 10-6 game, it would be very boring. But it has been so low quality that the timeline is actually amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. It's hysterical. It's everything about this is just hilarious. You can't help but laugh. It is a beautiful disaster. And for that matter, congratulations if you played the under like Andy. Andy, you're in great shape right now. I cannot imagine what would bust this for you at this point. But
no jinxies, but man, it is. There were a couple decent drives. So that first drive by Denver, they moved the ball okay, got stopped up. Truthfully, the drive with the interception, there was a couple okay plays by the Colts, but missing JT and then losing
even
Hines right away.
Run back is hysterically bad. Did they fumble? They might have just fumbled on the run back. The guy had no business even running it back.
There was a penalty on the Colts for being offside on the free kick.
All right. So
yeah, that's a weird penalty. That's not a penalty you see outside of onside kicks.
It's 6-3. They think they're going to half. This game is fucked up. It is super drunk, and I gotta tell you, man, we've seen some real suspect play out of Matt Ryan so far this season. This is the worst. It's gotten worse somehow. Maybe it is the offensive line was just completely unprepared to play in this game, and he is under duress regularly, but holy shit. The Colts offense is an absolute disaster. Russell Wilson is 9 of 17 for 69 yards, 69 yards passing against this defense. Okay. I don't even really know where to go with analysis. I kind of want to do an audible, just get this over with and talk a little NBA or something.
We'll come up first person who comes up with a player prop will be our halftime bet, because I found out Bovada has a ton of that open, and the Canadian capper fella, he gave us a nice one. I don't know what if you had to bet somebody on the Colts to do well, what would be, if the game plan changes to
Pittman.
Not only
Pittman's
the offensive line is
player.
bad, well, the line is so bad, and they lost another player. Getting rid of the ball quick, does that Pierce's reception total is 4.5 now, 45 Pierce. Yards. That's a lot.
Pittman,
I already have some Pierce.
Pittman over. There you go. There's a second half play for you guys.
Pittman's over yards.
Pittman over 2.5 second half receptions. 3 catches for Pittman in the second half, and we are Gucci. I love that. Thank you, Nick Molnar. Wait, no relation to Andy, right? No.
It's not my name.
I know, but it's close enough that there's probably some lineage.
Dunzik.
Anyway,
Morant? That's not even close to Mahler, you turd.
It was
I'm not saying that.
No, it was Molnar instead of Mol. Yeah.
Oh, well, that might be.
Yeah.
If he has some Luxembourgish lineage. Yeah, we're not going to talk. I have two questions, and then we'll pivot off this. Do you think there's any chance in this game or in the coming games that they go to Nick Foles?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
there's a chance.
And then the follow up to that is, what would you do?
I think you have to ride this out. Matt Ryan, they are compensating Matt Ryan $60 million over the next 2 years. Here's a toss-up, Andy. You ready? Bigger heist. Matt Ryan stealing $60 million from the Colts?
Or the Lufthansa heist?
The NFL stealing a $1.3 billion a year from Amazon? Which is the bigger heist here?
That's a lot of money. Like, and it's funny, too. It's such a drop in the bucket for Amazon, but it's still a lot of cabbage. So good for. I never say anything nice about Roger. Good for Roger. He really did it up,
dude. So, Canadian Capper, you need to sit down, buddy, because Andy did call you out at the top of this broadcast and said Canadian Capper gave us a great prop on the Higbee.
But
and
on my tweet after the game, I'm like, I think I wrote like random chat guy. Thanks for the play.
Oh, okay. Well, on this broadcast, he did give you a shout, Canadian Capper. Rewind. Yeah, rewind to hear your shout out there.
And also, I went out. I went out.
Yes.
I always.
Oh my God, Charles. I'm sorry, Andy. I got to interrupt you.
All right.
Russ is also pulling quite high.
A lot of
it's $240 million.
Heist heavy.
Oh my God, this is a heisty game.
As a homage to my friend, Canadian Camper 72. So on Thursdays, I always go out with my wife and watch the first half of the game at a bar, and then I come over here to the office to do halftime. Guess what she picked for our appetizer at the local bar?
Ooh, onion ring, for sure.
Poutine.
Oh, wow.
She doesn't even know Canadian Cappers.
All right.
And it was really good poutine.
That's some good synergy right there.
Yeah, good synergy. Yeah, we're on the. I can't find this. I'm gonna keep refreshing. The only thing I have is like when Hines went out, and I just get jealous about how good people are at this. And I never think about player props, but I did bet some Pierce over 2.5 receptions. So that's the thing that's going to keep me watching this game, is for him to if he catches like the first ball in the second half, I'm done. That's it. I'm done watching this game. Because I joked about that on Twitter when I posted the link to this. I said, come talk to us about what's keeping you watching this game. And right away, Jeff Feinberg's like, well, first touchdown bet. First touchdown bet. And there are people with triple-digit numbers on no touchdown.
I bet.
I think they're fucking live.
Andy, would you believe that would not be the first primetime game involving Russell Wilson to end with a no touchdown?
Yeah, it was the Cardinals game.
The 6-6 tie.
All the field goals.
Tie.
That's when I passed out for that.
The one where David Johnson got tackled at the 1-inch line.
Yep. And I've told this story too. Whatever team was the underdog in that game, I liked them at +1. Like, it was essentially a pick 'em. Pre-game, they were like +1, +1.5. The game had started and they had the ball, and I had the live bet and I got pick 'em on that game. And I passed out. I woke up in the morning and I went back and looked. I'm like, oh fuck!
It's like kissing your sister.
Yeah, real sister kissing.
It's a real sister kisser.
Pierce has 3 catches already. Well, then I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Okay.
He got one on that last drive.
He got one on that last drive. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, we're done. I'm done with this game. It's hysterically awful. Let's talk a little NBA. Little
Browns, Washington.
Yeah. No. You want to talk a little? No, Commies,
no.
Bears. Commies Bears. A little preview of next week's through Thursday. No, sir.
Honestly, those defenses.
Let's talk.
Might actually have that
dude. NBA is fucking hot right now. Like all of the content has been rolling out, and I do not care if you do not like betting NBA now in your life. Trust me, at some point you will find interest in it. It is so much of a better product than what the NFL has going on right now, and it will continue to get better and I just trust me. Like, you don't have to bet it, you don't have to pay attention, but just like start to just dabble with it, just flirt with it. This year is going to be very, very good. You have some amazing storylines and in general good quality of teams across the NBA this year, and the teams that suck are literally playing for the best prospect that we have ever seen.
Zach Morris, timeout.
Yes.
All right. As a casual NBA guy, I understand they changed how it works with the lottery. Explain that to me. It still behooves you to tank, but it's like what the worst 7 teams all have the same amount of balls.
The lottery used to be heavily tilted in favor of the worst teams, and they basically just flattened it so that like if you're in like the bottom 7, you're live for the 1.
So
is what it was.
But you still get more if you're the worst, or is it like the worst 3 all get the same now?
The worst 3 all get the same. And the bottom 7 all have a realistic chance to get the 1.
And you know what the dumbest fucking thing about this whole deal is? And I said this yesterday. Scoot Henderson is like the number 1 pick in like what 8 out of the last 10 drafts.
Yes.
I think that like the Jaws Zion year, it's probably a toss up still with all those 3, but like Scoot Henderson is playing second fiddle and he's crazy.
He's really good.
It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they go cold envelope and get him in a major market. Honestly, because the guy is amazing.
Do we have
we haven't even yet seen much of him.
Do we have a nickname for Wemby yet? Can we call him Wemby?
I'm going to call him Vic. Vic.
No,
there's no other Vics.
Let's go Wemby. Wemby, please give me Wemby.
That's a tennis tournament.
Well, Wemby is the basketball player, and it's a fun one. I'm going to call him Wemby. We'll see if it catches on. Probably will not. But ultimately, let's pretend like you don't know much about the NBA. Let's pretend like you don't know much about the NBA and you want to ask me some questions about how the season is going to go. First obvious question is like, what is your favorite bet in the preseason right now? And this is like a not even close. It's a not even close. There is one very obvious bet and it pays 20-1. And you know what I'm about to say because you're wearing their hat. And it is the Minnesota Timberwolves most wins 20-1 in the NBA. Okay. There are 5 teams that are mega tanking. 2 of those teams reside in the Northwest, which is the Timberwolves division. That is the Jazz and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Both teams will lose every game they play against the Timberwolves. I can almost
the Jazz were okay last year. What happened to them?
They traded their best player to the Timberwolves.
What about their second best player?
He's on the Cavs now.
Okay. So they're going to be bad.
Third best player is on where's Jingles now? Jingles, I think he's a Buck maybe, but he's hurt.
Joe Ingles did go to Milwaukee. Yeah. That's kind of a nice fit. They just keep adding 3-point shooters to that team.
Mini most wins is very, very good. Okay. 4 of the 5 worst teams in the NBA, Andy, are in the West. 2 of those are in their division. The Timberwolves are going to literally rack up wins on those sorry ass teams. On top of the fact that they match up brilliantly in regular season matchups. Chris Finch is a great coach, and he literally has exactly the right roster to be able to do all of the things he needs to do in game to get wins against the other really good teams, which is very exciting. Timberwolves are going to be very, very good.
Trash.
I am sorry to kind of build you up if it ultimately does not come to fruition, but God damn it, that starting 5 is like it's perfect. It is a dream starting 5 from like you want a player that can do this, you want a player that can do this, you want a player that can do this. The synergy across that unit is sick. D'Angelo Russell has never exercised his ceiling because he's never played with a player like Gobert. Karl Anthony Towns cannot be your number 1 defensive stopper as a big. You need Gobert to be alongside of him. Karl Anthony Towns is the ideal stretch 4 to give everyone else space on that offense, and they have Anthony Edwards entering year 3, which is where he's going to make the superstar leap. Like the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to, because he's a perfect wing defender. Perfect. What a role player. Such a good role player.
I don't know if people know this, but I went to 2 games last year, so I'm a bit of a Timberwolves expert now. So I had to get this hat. I didn't have one. Looked like an asshole without any gear, but like, I couldn't take my eyes off Jaden McDaniels when he was in the game. Like, this guy should be playing way more. He was very good. I enjoyed him. And I was very happy. And I mean, they've wrote articles about that. That was apparently a very big sticking point with the Gobert trade. It was just, that's not going to be part of it. He's part of our core, which I got to give him credits. I think you're right. They put together a very good starting 5, and maybe we got Austin Rivers.
Holt, you are the man.
Nas Reed.
Holt is always in the chat. Always ask good questions. I will answer this. There are people that think Ant Edwards is live for MIP. I am not one of those people.
He's a number one overall.
He is awesome, and he is the key to them doing anything in the playoffs. Literally, he does like whatever he does in the regular season. Honestly, is gravy. Like he just needs to kind of figure out his own game and take some small steps because he is sort of the key to the puzzle for them doing anything in the playoffs. His likelihood of getting MIP, I think, is kind of on the lower side, just because I think realistically, D'Lo and Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns are going to eat up a ton of the offense. So I just don't know if there's quite enough to elevate what he did last year to this year in terms of scoring to where he can, seize that. And plus, I think Tyrese Maxey is kind of an unstoppable force in the MIP market. Maxey is going to make his first time All-Star team this year for the Sixers. He is going to be the best beneficiary of Harden's offensive decline, but Harden is a creator, and the Harden Maxey synergy, if you didn't see that last year, oh my God, is that something to behold?
I already called, like, Anthony Edwards is live for one award this year, is Finals MVP.
He is.
That's the award he wins. That's the what do they call the Western Conference Finals award?
Oh, the Jerry West. The
Jerry West.
Is it the Jerry West, or is it the Magic Johnson? The Magic Johnson?
I don't know. They made Jerry West look like a dick in that show. That show was so good, though.
Did you see the animated Jerry West in the logo now? I don't love it. Noel is Beasley on steroids. John, you have named the sixth man of the year. The other problem about Anthony Edwards getting MIP is that Rudy Gobert is going to be defensive player of the year, and Noel is going to be sixth man of the year, and they can only get so many awards. So,
yeah, that is fair. They do tend to split up the awards here. So, all right, we're kicking off. I do got to remind you that these shows and overtime are brought to you by No House Advantage. Play and pick 'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $250,000 in cash. Download the app at nohouseadvantage.com or in the App Store. Like a person with a phone, use promo code BetSperts to play contests in the National Football League, the NBA that we're talking about, Major League Baseball playoffs, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up with promo code BetSperts for a $25 promo. And then I also have a question for the chat. Dan's going to help me out with this. And this is going to be a tough one. This would be a bad beat if this doesn't come to fruition, but the Twitter sphere, and more importantly, the real hardcore people that follow and interact with me, they help me name my dog. Like, I'm going to go back and figure out who named my dog. I'm going to look at another dog, and that came up today. My wife's like, what do we name it? I'm like, fuck, I hate naming a dog. So this is a blue tick coonhound / Aussie Shepherd. It is a girl.
Look at that guy.
It's got a big paws.
Oh, hell
I don't know what to name it. So I haven't adopted this dog yet, but there's a decent chance I will be rescuing an animal over the weekend into Monday. We got to see. I wouldn't be able to take possession of the beast for a few weeks as it is still drinking the milk from its mother. So they got to keep the two together. But
that makes sense.
Start thinking. You have several weeks. I will keep you updated, but look at that little cutie.
Oh my
God. Look at that little cutie.
What a sweetheart. Real quick,
I do have a couple NBA questions for you.
Real quick, I want to address Patrick's comment. DK let him bet $12.10, 21. T-Wolves must win. Here's what you need to do, Patrick. You ready? You find a friend who is a degenerate gambler who loves the table games, like cannot help themselves. Does not matter how much they're winning on the NFL. They cannot stay away from the online blackjack. And then you give him $500 to bet this 20-1 T-Wolves. That's how you pull this off. 12. If you have a hot account, if you have an account with a pulse, they're not going to let you get a bet down on this. But you can get a bet down other ways if you know the right.
Rosie, I love that.
Ooh, that's fun.
Ant.
Yeah, Ant's good. Ant is good. Okay,
it's a girl though.
It's a girl though.
Oh Jesus, Russell.
Rudy.
What are we doing?
We could call her Rudy.
Rudy's a girl's name. I remember that from the Cosby Show.
That's right. Rudy was great on the Cosby Show.
You know what? Rudy was not the problematic part of that show. She was great.
Quite a fumble from Russ. Okay, let's. Yeah,
right,
more NBA questions. Go.
My
Fire.
question is
whatever you have.
every year this turns into like one of my favorite topics. And you usually, I mean, even if you don't nail it by mid-season, there's always been enough clarity where I think you have a good grip on that. But the East, stacked as always.
Stacked.
And
absolutely stacked.
Like, right,
some very good team is not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, name your Final Four in the East, and follow-up question is, did the Nets do anything?
I think the Nets are being slept on.
If everybody plays, like, they just have to be a good team, right?
Health is the X factor there. I would not pick them to win the East, but they're going to do better than first round sweep, getting swept.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Last year's team made zero fucking sense. Did not fit. It was an absolute abomination in terms of how you want to construct a closing five, which is why the Celtics were able to literally laugh them off the court.
Yeah, it was bad. That was a bad series.
Joe Harris and Ben Simmons, assuming they're healthy and available by the end of this year, with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and fill in another shooter. Even Seth Curry might be the guy. That closing five is like a kind of a problem. They can switch, they can shoot. That's going to be a tough out for even the best of NBA teams. As I kind of look across the NBA right now, I would put the Nets in the Final Four if those five guys are healthy and available, because they are going to be that. Like that is kind of a perfectly composed playoff basketball closing five. So the Nets are in the Final Four for me. The Sixers are in the Final Four for me because I think they're getting the 1 seed, and I think they have a pretty clean path through the first round. The Celtics are a tough one. They're on the bubble in my mind because of the coaching situation.
Turns out the coach was fucking some girls, and he got in trouble for that. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, they're going to be. I think they're going to be in the position that the Nets found themselves last year, where it's like, how is this team in like the 7 seed or the play-in, right? Like that's kind of what it looks like. They are a rock solid win total under right now. Robert Williams' injury is going to last until Christmas.
Back to that too. The news cycle moves so fast on that. Like oh man, I'm so bad at saying this guy's name. The Celtics coach,
Ime Udoka.
That was like the biggest news story in the world for like that couple days, and now it's just like we've moved on because the news cycle moves so fast. What is the long term there? Are they just doing this so no one else can hire him, and they're going to shit can him at the end of the year? It seemed like a pretty sordid story.
I think they only have her side of the story. They don't know what evidence he has. If they fire him, he may take them to court and say, I was fired
without cause.
Cause. And at that point, then they get into a messy lawsuit about whether they need to compensate him. They are trying to build a case to fire him with cause, and I don't think they have it yet. That's my general read on the situation.
Okay.
The Celtics, I think, are on the bubble of the Final Four. The Bucks are not. Giannis is still the best player in the Eastern Conference, singularly the best player.
They have Joe Ingles.
Yeah, and they have Joe Ingles. It's a weird team, though. It's not a good regular season team. They lack some depth. They lack some shooting. So I think
I wish they could switch jerseys with the Timberwolves at the end of the year.
That would be nice. Yeah, because the Timberwolves are a regular season fucking juggernaut. Okay, so here's the thing. Bucks probably land in the 3 seed. They probably play the Nets in round 2. Nets Bucks is going to be another amazing series like we had a couple years ago. Again. It's going to be sick. And the Sixers are the 1 seed, and they're going to play the. You don't even know what I'm going to say, do you?
In the
my other choice for Final Four. I'm bouncing the Celtics. They lose in the round 1 because of their path is so difficult. It's going to be.
You're saying in the first round who the 1 seed?
No, my Final Four for the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Who the winner of the 4-5 plays the Sixers as the 1 seed. Who is the winner of the 4-5?
Hold up. So we're taking Washington out.
Washington might be Washington might be a secret tank this year. Seriously.
Yeah, Washington might tank. You'd put them in there. All right. So you had the Sixers and who? Sixers
are my 1.
Okay.
My 2-3 is Bucks Nets. My 4 is mystery.
Hawks?
I like
or
the
Raptors?
Hawks. I like the Hawks.
It is the Hawks.
I think
I'm
Hawks.
I don't catch all the NBA chat, but I feel like some people have been high on them.
Yeah, I think their upside gets them into that range this year. I'm a sucker for the way that they've composed that roster in general, and I think even if they decide to move Collins, they can get some decent pieces for him. The Hawks could not play defense last year, but you're going to get a full year now of DeAndre Hunter, who I think could be a super impactful individual defender on top of the fact that they
have the redheaded kid still?
No, they traded him. Kevin Huerter.
Huerter time?
Huerter is gone. I can't remember where he ended up at the end of the day. Let me pull up my depth chart, but the potential issue that I have with the Hawks, because again, like it's a weird fit to put. They traded for Dejounte Murray at shooting guard. He's going to be next to Trae Young, and that's a weird fit because Murray's not a great shooter, but he's a great guard defender. I like now you take a little bit of the pressure off of DeAndre Hunter in terms of defense. Collins and Capella, I'm expecting a little bit of a bounce back from Capella. Really just I think that 5 could be pretty special if it comes together, but at the same time they could not come together, in which case they're like playing-ish. So they're a wide range of outcomes, but I think 4 is sort of their ceiling. Not buying the Raptors. I'm not buying the Cavs.
They've got a little bit of playoff experience now.
I'm out on the Raptors. I'm out on the Cavs. I'm out on the Bulls.
I don't like things that aren't, quantifiable, but like legit, Trae Turner lives for big moments. Like there are players like, Ben Simmons is such a fucking outlier that we shouldn't even mention him. But I think Karl Anthony Towns is a good example of like, he kind of wilted in bigger moments in the playoffs. Like he couldn't have played worse in that one game. It was wild how there are players who they do play better in big moments. And like Trae Turner is like, he lives for that shit. He was all about that.
Oh yeah, Trae Young,
and especially Trae Young. Trae Turner is a baseball player.
Trae Turner is a baseball player.
Does he play for for Atlanta though?
He's a Dodger, I think.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, okay. Never mind. This is
maybe he is a Brave if Dan is part of them.
This is why I shouldn't even start giving basketball takes. I can't even name one of the best point guards.
Trae Turner is a Dodger. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to bed. One last NBA diatribe, and then we'll call her.
Okay.
What else you got? Cat does not have that dog in him. That's funny.
No, he doesn't.
The West. Haven't had that many gummies.
The West is fascinating to me, and I got to give somebody called Brian Hester called it. Kevin Huerter is on the Kings now. I think the Kings are going to be better than people realize. I think the West is weak as shit. The Kings should get wins against all those tanking teams because they are literally trying as hard as they fucking can. Like they desperately want a playoff. They want to snap that drought. Here's the thing. If the Kings get the 6th seed, which is within the realm of possibility, if everything goes right, because their roster is somewhat talented, what happens if the Kings get the 6th seed? Mike Brown wins Coach of the Year. And he is currently 80-1 to win Coach of the Year. Even if Chris Finch win and the Minnesota Timberwolves win 68 games, it still is going to be tough for the people to look past the fact that the Kings snap their postseason drought, which is the longest in professional sports history currently. And I think Mike Brown's going to get consideration for Coach of the Year. In general, I'm a Mike Brown, like somewhat of a Mike Brown guy, not like a big time, but like he's got something good going. And I kind of like that starting 5. I mean, they're going to beat the bad teams. They could get the 6th seed. I'm out on the Warriors in the regular season, but boy, oh boy, if you're a Timberwolves fan, you desperately need someone to knock them out of the playoffs. That's not the Timberwolves. If the Western Conference Finals
that's
T-Wolves Warriors, the T-Wolves are nuclear fucked. If that's
who might knock them out? You know who's been really good at knocking out Golden State Warriors? Draymond.
Well played,
time,
Andy.
That's my
well
time,
done.
folks.
We should end it. We'll end it there.
We'll end it
well done. 30 minutes of a pod for you guys on an otherwise absolute garbage NFL game. Yeah,
we'll definitely do an NBA podcast at some point, guys. Hit the thumbs up.